Well, hello everybody, and I want to continue on my line of videos about helping you play better golf. I want you to shoot lower scores, and I want you to have more fun when you play golf. And in this video, I need you to be honest with yourself, because that's one of the biggest flaws that I see in golfers. They are totally dishonest with themselves in about 4 big categories. And I want to run through all 4 of those categories, and I want you to watch till the end because I don't want you making any of these mistakes. And the first area where golfers are dishonest with themselves involves this club. And it involves this club. And what am I talking about? One of the biggest mistakes I see golfers make is they all think they hit the ball farther than they actually do. And what problem does this cause? Well, you're standing out there, and let's just say you're 150 yards, and you think you hit your 7-iron 150 yards, and you don't. It makes you swing too hard. And when you swing too hard, you have a lot of mishits. And on that rare occasion that you might catch that ball super flush and hit it actually 150 yards, you say, gee, there it is. Why can't I do that all the time? Well, you can't do it all the time because you don't actually hit the 7-iron 150 yards, and now you're swinging too hard. Your rhythm's out of whack. Do yourselves a favor. Go find somebody that's got a launch monitor, and a good one, and go through your bag. Find a rhythm in your golf swing, a speed that you can go, that you can swing, and hit the ball solid the majority of the time. And then figure out how far that club goes. And once you figure out how far that club goes, write it down. And now recalibrate your set of clubs. Make it realistic. Stop being dishonest with yourself. Now over here is another area where I see golfers being totally dishonest with themselves. They assess their skill level way too high. They think they're better than they actually are. And therefore they get themselves over in a situation where they're in trouble. And they go to try and pull off that hero shot because, hey, they think they can. And you know what? They may be able to 1 out of 50 times, but where do those other 49 golf balls go? Don't think you're better than you are. Assess the situation properly. Be realistic in what you are capable of doing, and then make better decisions. Let's go look at another example of this flaw. Here's another situation where golfers think their skills are better than they are. They think they're a better ball striker than they actually are, and it causes them to make bad decisions. Look at this pin placement here. Back of the green, back right corner. I guarantee you, people out there, 150 yards, 140 yards, whatever, everybody's firing at that pin, except the really good player, because a really good player knows what to do. That person who's dishonest with themselves, thinks they're better than they are, is going to fire at that flag. They're going to miss that green long. They're going to miss it over there to the right. And what happens? Double bogey comes into play. They're never going to make a par when they miss the green over there. And their short game skills probably aren't good enough either. And they get back there in a tough situation, put a little more pressure on themselves, make another mistake, and then double bogey comes into play. So do yourself a favor. Assess your skills properly. Make decisions based on your skill level, okay? Choose better targets. And that one kind of leads me into our third one. The third area where I see people make such big mistakes, and it's just, again, that dishonesty with themselves, kind of lends to what we're talking about back there. They think they're better than they actually are, and they choose bad targets, okay? Here we are on this green. Again, I said the pin back right corner. Fairly narrow green. What people don't understand is that everybody has a shot dispersion pattern. From 100 yards, a tour player with a wedge in their hand is going to miss 25 feet to the right and or 25 feet to the left. That's a tour player. You guys all think you're going to hit it 10 feet. You make decisions based on the fact that you're going to hit it 10 feet. And therefore, you aim in bad spots. The aiming point for this green, where that pin is right there, it's right over here in the middle of the green. You hit it over here into the middle of the green all day long. Putt yourself back up that hill, giving yourself a chance at a birdie, but 2-putt and make a par, okay? If you miss the green a little bit to the left, which would be over here, and to the right, which was over here, short of the flag, you've got a pretty easy up and down. So choose targets that are suitable for your game, just like I said before. And what happens? You then subconsciously know you've chosen a really good target. You relax. You have more confidence. You can become more committed to that target, therefore giving yourself the best chance of hitting a solid shot. If you choose that target that little voice in the back of your head is going, oh man, Briz, I don't know about that one. That's a little tough. You're going to have to really hit it good. Well, what happens? You squeeze that club a little bit tighter, okay? You scrunch those shoulders up. You get a little tension in that swing. You put too much pressure on yourself. Bad shot after bad shot. Bad shot after bad shot means scores go up. Let's go look at another area where I think people make bad mistakes. Another area where I see people making bad decisions because of a little bit of dishonesty with themselves is really up here around the green and what club they choose to chip and pitch with. I see people using way too much loft. Folks, the more loft you put in your hand, the more difficult that shot. The more loft you put in your hand, the bigger the swing is going to have to be. The larger the swing is, the more loft, the bigger the disaster can be when you hit a bad shot. I think they watch the tour and they see the tour players using all that loft. And people, you got to understand, they're playing golf courses that are different than what you're playing. The turf is so much better where they are. Matter of fact, it's perfect. It's firm. These guys are great at using the bounce. These guys put spin on the ball. You don't, okay? So get around the green. Take as little loft as you can possibly use. Get that ball down on the ground and make as small a swing as you can possibly make. I did a video a year or so ago about this. My theory with my students is, hey, take the smallest swing that you can take and keep the ball as low to the ground as you can possibly keep it. It's going to make you hit better shots and it's going to make your score go down. So around the green, less loft, smaller swings, keep that ball down on the ground far more and let that ball roll. Okay, let's go get one more example. Okay, the last area that I'm going to touch on in this video about golfers being a little bit dishonest with themselves is in the short game, with their putter and with their wedges around the green, their chipping and their pitching. They all think that their short games are good. They all think their short games are adequate. And they just aren't looking at the facts and being honest with themselves and saying, no, my short game is not good. My short game is not average. My short game is below average. Therefore, they don't practice their short game enough, and all they think is, I have to hit the driver better and I have to hit the irons better, and if I can do all of that, this up here will be okay. Well, let me give you a true life story. Just the other day, had a golf lesson with a high school student. I'm not going to use pronouns here of him, her, whatever, because I don't want to point anybody out. But they come to me after their first high school match. I said, how was it? Tells me what the person shoots. Student tells me what they shoot. And then the student says, man, I was terrible in the bunker. I got to figure out how to get out of the bunker. And I said, great. I said, tell me about it. Student says, I was in 2 bunkers all day long, which wasn't bad. But then the student says, but it took me 7 shots to get out of those bunkers. I kept leaving it in the bunker. I'd scull it and it'd hit the lip and it'd come back down. I said, okay, great, we got a problem. I said, let's hit a few golf balls and we'll go get in the bunker. Well, then the student says to me, but you know what's funny? The rest of my short game was really pretty good. I said, great, well, tell me about it. And the student says, yeah, I only chipped over the green twice, and I think I only had 4 3-putts. And I almost started laughing. And I know this student very well, and they wouldn't have their feelings hurt if I'd started laughing anyway, but I'm like, that's not good. Matter of fact, that's verging on terrible. And I pointed out to the student, if we had gotten out of those 2 bunkers in 1 shot each, you just saved 5 strokes. If you don't chip over the green twice, you save 2 more strokes. Now we're to 7. And hey, if your 4 3-putts goes away and they become 2 putts, you save 4 more strokes. Now we're to 11 shots that you could have saved in your round. And I said, so let's take the score that you shot, which you didn't like, and subtract 11 strokes. Would that score be something you would be happy with? And my student's like, oh yeah, that would have been a great round of golf. And I said, so where's the problem? It's not just in the bunker, it's with your entire short game. So assess your short game according to what I'm going to call average. Average means no 3-putts, okay? That's average. I don't care if you 1-putt, but no 3-putts. And average from off the green, I would call getting up and down 10 to 15% of the time. So for every 10 times you're off the green, you chip up there and you 1-putt once. The other 9 times you chip and you 2-putt those 9 times. Put your short game against that average and now tell yourself, is your short game good? Is your short game average, or is your short game above average? Okay? Be honest with yourself. Okay, folks, I hope I've made my point. And the more honestly you look at your game, the more honestly you assess your skill levels, the more honestly you assess the different compartments of the game, tee shot, iron play, short game, putting, and assess yourself honestly, the better you're going to play golf, because now you will make decisions based on true facts and not based on, yeah, the one time I hit my 7-iron 150 yards, so therefore every time I'm going to hit my 7-iron 150 yards. It doesn't work that way. One time that pin was in that back corner and I happened to hit one back there about 10 feet, I made the putt for birdie. So therefore every time the pin's in that back corner, I need to be aiming at it. Okay? Yeah, one time I made a chip shot with my sand wedge that went way up in the air and it landed and it got close to the hole. So therefore, every time I play, I'm going to use that sand wedge and hit the ball high. You have to look at the majority of your shots. What do you do the majority of the time? When you start doing that and you make better decisions, you will be more relaxed, you will hit more solid shots, you will score better. And that's the name of this game, people. It's not about how far you hit that tee shot. It's not about how high you hit that sand wedge. At the end of the day, all anybody cares about is what number is on that scorecard. And if you're always the high guy in your group, and you're always reaching in that pocket to pull out the money, you better rethink how you're going about your game. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming into this video. Again, this is what I'm here for. This is why I'm on YouTube. I want to help you get better at golf. I want you to shoot lower scores, and I want you to have more fun playing golf. And if that's what you want to do, hit that subscribe button, folks, because this is the content that I put out. This is what I do. Well, listen, y'all have a great day. I'm going to get out of here. It's been drizzling on me the whole time. It's a cold, rainy February morning, and I'm going to go back indoors and maybe edit this video. Y'all have a great day. I will see you in the next video.